You.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Happy Thursday. Sarah Easterbrook here with Kaily. How you doing, Kaily?
I am doing amazing. How are you, Sarah?
So good, so good. Winter is hitting us here. It is beautiful. We got, our holiday Christmas tree up and been enjoying like hot cocoa after our workouts. So we're feeling festive right now. It's pretty amazing.
Oh gosh, I love it. We're moving into our home this weekend, and that's what we're doing next weekend is we're putting the tree up. So I'm
Oh my
super
gosh,
pumped.
the time has come.
Oh
We've
my
been talking
god.
about this for so long and it's here.
It's been a whirlwind of a literally year. We moved into my parents' house December 6th, I think it was last year. So it's coming up almost a year. And I have to tell you, it hasn't been an easy year. And I think that's why I want to talk on this topic today of, are you worthy? And especially, are you worthy of money? Because anything we do in life, anything that we have in life, we have to see ourselves being worthy of it first, right? And that image we hold of ourselves. And I feel like with the amount of people that I've talked to this past year, the biggest things in their lives that are a roadblock is one, themselves and how they see themselves and how they feel worthy of whatever it is they have. But even more than that, money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And this year was a little crazy. Like last year you saw like there's always been like coaches and entrepreneurs, right? But last year you saw an influx of them, right? And we saw, things happen with Facebook and social media and like growing and moving forward. And now we're at this point of, okay, what's going to happen in 2022? And so we had this roller coaster every year, including Donnie and I. And right now there's record numbers of people who are unhappy, depressed, and without purpose in their lives. And they mistakenly blame this on their outside circumstances instead of the inside environment. Right. So what happens on the inside is reflected on the outside. Right. And so there's tons of self-development courses and books that can help you make more money and increase, productivity in your business and your finances, but they won't improve the quality of your life in any meaningful way unless you learn the art of self-love. And that comes from within.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And I know now with studying self-love, studying self-image, and having the success as well as the bumps this past year, that everything we achieve in life comes from within, right? And there's so many surface level things out there that you can come across, just like you said, Sarah. Like this past year, the internet has blown up with people wanting to help you, coaches, mentors, everything. And there's so many different things that you can do. But if it's just surface level and you're not really tapping into like the hurt inside and really going deep within to see, what it is that's holding you back, and to recognize the thoughts you're having in those moments, if you don't tackle that, it's not going to change, right? Because just like everything we want to change, one being like a really big one being fitness and health, if you don't tackle the thought and the mindset you have on the inside about it, you're going to change for maybe 2 weeks. You're going to get up, you're going to have the motivation, you're going to do it. And then the old paradigms, the old thought process, the old habits, they kick back in one morning and you're just like, no, I'm going to sleep in, I'll do it later, right? And then you just start falling off that wagon.
Yep.
So everything surface level helps, but if you don't go within, you can't change it.
And you're going to see it, right? Like every January, you see it in the gym. The gyms are packed, right? Like even myself, come January, it's like, okay, I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then that maybe last 2 weeks, right? Because it's not something that, one, I don't really enjoy getting up at 4 o'clock. I do to an extent, but I'm a sleeper and I have that luxury of being able to sleep. And so I prefer to do that. So it's creating a routine around what it is that I want, not what the outside world tells me that I should do. Right? Like there's so many self-help books out there and like gurus that tell you, own your morning, own your life. But there's some people out there who are, are more productive in the afternoon. And if you're not a morning person and you're like cranky and miserable getting up in the morning, that's not peak performance. And if you run a business or you go to a job, you want to be in peak performance to ensure that your clients and customers have the best of you. So it's not this cookie cutter type of mentality. It's you. But we live in a cookie cutter world, right? Like, have you ever been on an airplane and like, when you come and you can see landmass and you can see that it's like cut out, you can see where people's property lines are. Like, that's not how life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be messy. You're supposed to go outside the lines. You're supposed to be different and weird and everything that they tell you shouldn't be. Right? But unless you're actively, involved in a carefully designed system for you, you will not be able to appreciate yourself fully or attain a new goal. Mm-hmm. So action is needed to create permanent transformation.
That's the key, right, Sarah? And I think, like you said, the world's cookie cutter. It's almost like one size fits all. This is how life is supposed to be. Live by this rule book. Well, guess what? That's not life. For some people, it is, because some people will take that and what they know and never change it. But I want to tell you, like, you listening right now, you're here to create the life of your dreams. Mm-hmm. And that all starts with you. And
you're here to live.
Exactly. Like, live your fucking life, man. Yeah. Do what you love to do. Do what you want to do. And just like you said, Sarah, like they say, the wealthy wakes up early. You have to be the early bird gets the worm. I struggle. I'm going to say struggled, because I did, trying to get my ass out of bed early, because it's nice if I naturally wake up early, but I like my body to naturally wake up. Like, I don't want to force it out.
And like, how excited are you to wake up in the morning when you have this yelling at you? Are you excited to wake up? Fuck no. I'm like, can you turn that shit off? Like, that's not excited. It like jolts you out of sleep.
It does.
You're already starting your day off in like panic mode, because you're like, what the hell? I was just, I was in Narnia, right? And like, now you just woke me up and now I'm back in my reality. Like, that is the worst. Whoever created that, like, what were you thinking?
Right. And
terrifying.
It is. And you know what? Thinking back now, like, to like my past and hanging out with people, like a lot of people I used to hang out with, it's crazy the amount of power people will give to others to control them. And what I mean by that is, like, I've had a lot of friends in the past who, when they're hanging out with me, because I'm so, like, I'm not judgmental. I don't give a shit what you like or don't like. It's whatever you do, right? So I've never been a judgmental person. And I've noticed when I hang out with certain people in the past, I'm talking, they would be completely open themselves, like completely themselves, being happy, being quirky, saying things that they wouldn't say. And then around other people that have a different mindset and are more strict on this is what life's supposed to be, those same people would kind of shell up and be like, I'm not going to express myself because of something inside, right? And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people live, is they live with the idea held in their mind of how other people want to see them.
Yep.
Not how they want to be seen, not how they feel. And I have to tell you, like, when you dive into yourself and you have somebody like a coach or a mentor or even a good friend, like, ask you the hard questions, like, what do you really love? Like, what do you love? Take everyone out of the equation. What do you love?
I remember asking my brother, I'm like, are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy with my job. You know, I like my truck. Yeah, but are you happy? Silence. So ask yourself, are you happy? Not just happy with the stuff that you have, but like if you were to sit down in an empty room, you know, with just your thoughts, are you happy? Because here's the hard facts. There's nothing that matters more than self-love. And I know a lot of women are going to, and maybe even men too, are going to argue with me saying, nope, my kids matter more. Well, when you're on an airplane and that oxygen mask drops, what do they tell you? You put it on you first. It has to be on you first, because if you're passed out and not breathing, who the hell's going to save your kids? Right? It has to be on you first. And you know, women, you're so powerful. Like you literally bring spirits into this world. That's how magnificent your body is, that you get to bring these spirits into your world. And you know, if you don't learn to integrate yourself completely and love yourself fully, then you are no more than a walking shadow. And you will continue to walk in that shadow. And unfortunately, your children will follow that path. So it's time for you to put yourself in the sun, in the forefront. And you know, not everybody, like we talk to so many entrepreneurs, right? Not everybody wants to be that legacy guru, right? Some people just want to make money to not have to worry about bills, which is totally fine. You don't have to be that guru, but what is it going to take for you to create that income so that you never have to worry again, so that your kids know what it's like to have that income, so they know that they can do and have whatever it is they want and they feel worthy. And I'm not saying money makes you feel worthy, but money is how you do everything, right? Everything requires money. Groceries, roof over your head, water, electricity, like having a baby, clothing babies, it all requires money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I keep saying a lot of people because we talk to a lot of people, but just looking at my experience since diving into myself and loving myself fully, like I fucking hated myself.
Me too.
I don't know why. Like I know why. Like in my past, people would say things. I was bullied. So I took those things on as they were true. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I would look at myself, I would be like, I'm not pretty. I just all the negative things. Right. But when you fully love yourself and know that you're worthy of anything, you can be. And it's not where, like, I know we talk a lot on money and self-love and meditation and business and the whole package. But just like Sara said, if that's not an image or a goal that you have in your mind, you don't have to do that. But at the same time, I feel like I never had a bigger goal or a big image of more money in my life because I never questioned it about having something different, because in my mindset, I had a government job. I was making $22 an hour. On paper, that looks good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to want more, I had the belief that, well, somebody else needs that because I'm doing okay. I have the roof over my head. We're fed. We have groceries. We have extra money to do things. And my self-image of having more wasn't there because I never thought about it.
That's
But
middle class mentality.
exactly. And when I opened up my thought process and started asking myself questions like, what is it that I want more of? Everybody says money.
Yeah.
But it's not the money that you want. It's the thing that the money gives you.
The feeling.
Like, yes. Like
security.
The time. Yeah. Time freedom, financial freedom. Certainty of anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's seeing yourself as that person. And I didn't. I didn't see myself as that person because I never even questioned it. So when you start diving into yourself and you start asking yourself the hard questions and you start imagining and picturing yourself with more and what that would do for you and your family, it gets you excited, but it also gets you thinking on another level. Like, I don't have to just exist a normal life like we're supposed to. Get a job, get a house, have kids, get married, and live life like that, right? That's what
Donnie and I last night were like, literally, he's like exhausted because he does get up at 4:45 in the morning and he lets me sleep till like 8 o'clock. And so last night, like, I'm still like awake while he's falling asleep. And I'm like, listen, do you think that there are other beings in other galaxies right now who are worried about money and fear? Like, do you think that exists, or is it just here? And where does fear come from? Right? Fear is man-made. When a baby is born, they have no fear. They have no fear. There's no racism. There's nothing. They're just a big ball of goofy fun and energy, and they are learned things along the way. They're taught things along the way, right? And that's how conformity happens, because we go to school, which has a curriculum that we all follow, every single one of us. Even if you don't want to be a scientist, you still have to take science. Even if you don't like calculus, even though they tell you you'll use it in your life. I've never used calculus.
You know what, Sarah? I love that you just brought up that fear is man-made, because that hits home for me huge, right? I have 2 kids. If you've been following, you know that. And this just brought something to my attention last night. And when it happened, that's the first thing I thought was, why are you implementing fear into my son? So my son had the nail clippers and he was standing over the garbage pail trying to clip his nail. And I said, do you want mom to help you? And he said, no, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay. I said, just be careful. Put it on your nail. And I was showing him. And my mom said, oh, Noah, don't do that. You're going to cut yourself and it's going to hurt. It's going to bleed and make you cry. And I was like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
That's how my mom taught me. And that's how I would have taught Noah if I didn't dive into myself and learn literally words and thoughts that program us.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Because now he's thinking, listen, this is how simple this is. Every time he sees nail clippers now, he's going to think, I have to be careful because if I slip, I'm going to bleed and cry.
Yeah. Or he might never cut his nails ever, and you'll be cutting a 35-year-old grown man's nails.
Right? And that's the simplicity of like implementing fear into your life. And we do that. Nobody else does. We do.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you do need to experience fear in order to push through and in order to learn a lesson, right? So like if you put a hand on a hot stove when you're a kid, you're never going to do it again. You know, when they tell you it's a hot plate at a restaurant, you most likely don't touch it because you touched it one time. And now you have that, okay, this is a hot plate.
And you know what's
the same thing for everything.
It's so funny that you say that, because there's so many street signs that I've seen and I'm like, that is the silliest sign. Like, why would that sign be there? And I thought, because somebody's done that.
Yep.
So that sign's there now to say, don't do this or go this way or whatever, right? But it's so
I want to tell you how your words are so powerful. My dad told me not to get pregnant when I was 18 years old. And so I never got pregnant. It stayed in me. He also told me that credit cards are evil and that they're bad and nobody should have credit cards. So I never had a credit card. And when I did get a credit card, I maxed them out because nobody taught me how to use them. But now I understand credit and how it works to my advantage to help me create wealth.
But you know what, Sarah? That's so interesting about that is that your dad said that to you. So you grew up believing that. And you made the decision to explore it further and find out for yourself, right? Yep. So you broke that generational curse. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people go through their life never breaking it. And then their kids get it and their kids get it. the only way you can change your life and the programming that your mom, dad, and dad have, their parents have, is literally what Sara just said. All the things in your life that you just believe because you were brought up with that belief and being told that it's right or wrong, do this or do that. If you don't basically challenge that and find out for yourself, you'll never know. You'll just go your whole life thinking that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep. So true.
Yeah. And that's why we do what we do, because Sara and I have both broken our lives' generational curse of our family.
Yep.
We both stepped out to do something different than we were brought up to do. If you've listened to our whole stories, you know that. Mm-hmm. And that's why we want to show you that you're worthy of anything that you want, money included. Money is not evil. Money's not a bad word. It's not bad to want more of it.
It's the tree of life, right? And you know, it's not always easy, but it is easier with a coach or a mentor or a guide, whatever you want, or a teacher, whatever you want to call them, right? Now people are like, oh, there's so many coaches. So now coach has become such an evil word in the online industry, right? But there's a reason why there's mentors and coaches. There's a reason why people work with like Tony Robbins and, you know, what's her name? It'll come to me. Marina Reed?
Simone?
No. It'll come to me. She does like meditation and self-image. I found her on Mind Valley. She's amazing. You know, there's a reason why there's Jay Shetty's and Master Sri and Bob Proctor's and us, right? Because we hold you to your highest standards, right? We hold you to your highest standards in an unconventional way. You know, therapists, psychologists, they also have to follow a structure. And don't get me wrong, I've gone to therapy. I know what it's like to have therapy. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not good. But I wish somebody would give me the kick in the ass and say, wake the fuck up, Sara. Like, you're not the victim here. You have a choice. You choose. And kind of that's what a coach can do, right? It's unconventional. There's this one guy that I follow. He's like an awesome therapist on TikTok. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, this is what you do. You're fucking up your children. Like, so you're telling me, I remember one time he said, so you're telling me that you're going to wait until your kids are in college in another state to have a divorce. So they're going to be in a new state with no friends and no family. And then you're going to tell them you're having a divorce. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's just wait for that. I know. Right.
Oh God.
You need somebody to give you the hard truth, to give you the kick in the ass, because your friends and family won't do it. They will hold your hand and tell you they're there. It's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. But if they don't have the results you're looking for either, they're just giving you some shitty advice that they're not taking. Mm-hmm. If you're waiting for a rainy day, it's always going to be raining.
You literally get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You get what you're looking for. And I can't stress the importance of, like, first of all, if you want to start seeing immediate changes, look at the circle that you hang out with.
Mm-hmm. Like,
the circle you hang out with is your reality. The circle you hang out with is your future.
Yeah.
Like,
you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. If you hang around with 5 broke people, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 fat people, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 rich people, you'll be the 6th.
Mm-hmm. And Sara, you're amazing. Like, I look up to you so much for everything that you know. Like, you're literally a walking know everything.
I'm not. I just love to learn.
I know, but you're so good at it. And you're so, like, you've taught me so much about money, and we're just getting into that.
Leaders are leaders.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for it because, like, who doesn't want to wake up in the morning and get to pick what you do with your day? I'm not saying the whole world needs to be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of people out there that absolutely love what it is that they do. And I'm so happy for you. But there's also a lot of people out there that hate their life, that don't want to wake up in the morning, that can't even get themselves out of bed, that turn to addiction or turn to things to make them feel better, but it's not going to do anything. And those are the people that I want to talk to, because I want to show you that you can live the life of your dreams. There's nobody standing over you 24/7 saying, do it this way or else.
And you know, there's been so many people take their lives in these last 2 years, right? Because they just couldn't fight with the demons in their head anymore. And that's all it is. Like, we're going to continue to preach that. Yes, I'm not stating that mental illness does not exist. I agree it does. However, I do believe that if you can focus on changing your thoughts, and if you can get to like meditation retreats or go with the yogis, and you can focus on your internal dialogue, your external dialogue will change. And I look at people like Robin Williams and Philip Seymour Hoffman who couldn't work on their inner dialogue. And unfortunately, they took their lives. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of moms do it too, and a lot of dads right now, because they just feel like they failed, and, you know, they're losing jobs and they can't keep up with the bills, and people are losing their houses. But I promise you that we are in a new age. Okay. Like we talked about the Industrial Revolution last time. We are in the information revolution. Everything you desire is online. The kids that I'm following, like I'm following young kids because they're brilliant and I'm learning from them. We used to learn from history books, right? Well, guess what? People are rewriting history now, and it's coming from our younger generation because we have that information knowledge. And so if you can, if Bob Proctor said it and he drilled it in our head, if you want to earn, you got to learn. And so that's why I read it, whatever I can. Not all of it's exciting, right? Money is not exciting to learn about. It is numbers and interest rates and dividends and taxes and all of this shit. It's not exciting. But once you know it, once you understand taxes, you'll understand why the wealthy are wealthy and why the middle class and the poor stay where they are. Because middle class and poor people don't create employment income. They create wealth. They buy businesses and they purchase through their business. That's why there's so many business advantages. That's why people come here to start businesses, because they borrow through their business. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that. And if you guys want to know more on that, hit up our VIP Facebook group, because we're going to be sharing all of that in there. So check us out on our website at www.moneymakehers.ca. And you'll find the link right there to get into our VIP group. And we're sharing, you know, money, interest rates, mortgage, assets, liabilities, self-love, meditation, because I'm going to say it. I'm going to be one of them. If you don't dial in your self-image and your self-love and your inner dialogue through meditation, gratitude, affirmations, it doesn't matter what help happens outside of you. You'll get it and then you'll lose it. And it'll just be a repeat pattern. How many times have you said, I always get 1 step ahead and 10 steps back? That's your inner belief system in your pattern that you're continuing to run. So you need to nix that and create a new one.
And it's not simple. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and it takes practice. It's something you do every single day. Yeah. And if you want a different version of you, a happier version of you, a more successful version of you, that takes practice. That takes time. That takes somebody to coach you and go there.
Let's look at Pretty Woman, okay? Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman with Richard Gere, okay? We always talk about acting as if. She acted as if she was living that life. That was not her life to live. She had somebody guiding her and helping her, but she tuned into that, and she created that self-image. That wasn't her life. She acted in that life, and at the end, she manifested it. That's how manifestation works. You act as if. So go watch that movie over and over again until you figure out how to walk in her stilettos, because she's going to show you that you can act prior to having the manifestation. So we always think, when I get this, then I'll be that. No, 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 no. You have to be that, then you'll get that. So if you're not a millionaire right now, don't tell anybody. Nobody needs to know. Get dressed up, put on your best clothes every single day, speak with courage and conviction, hold your head up high, give eye contact, bam. People are going to be like, she knows what she's talking about. She's got so much confidence. She walks with pride. She speaks with conviction. She must really know what she's talking about. And then all of a sudden you have a following, right? And then now you're teaching them, because the more value you give to the world, the more you will receive. If you just want, you will lose, 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 lose. It has to be about value first, right? Mm-hmm. Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, all of them gave value first. It was about the people. It wasn't about themselves.
Mm-hmm. It's the truth, right? And it's, we can go on this topic for days, but it literally all stems from within. Everything. And that's what we dive into in our Facebook community. So if you have any questions, anything you want to know, like Sara said, hop onto our website, moneymakehers.ca. Go through there and you can find our group there.
Make sure you hit subscribe below. Subscribe so that you guys will always see when we're coming on, talking about money, self-love, gratitude. Guys, we're going to have so many guest speakers coming on soon. Again, we are not CPA or advisors of any means. We are just two regular women figuring shit out as we go along. This is real life experience that we're teaching. So you should always get advice from, you know, your accountant or a CPA, but just take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you love what we're talking about, hit subscribe, hit follow, and tune in. We're here every Monday and Thursday, and we're always on Facebook and giving a lot of value there. So hop on over to there. Have an amazing weekend. And I think this weekend is,
I think Thanksgiving coming up. I think it's next week. I think next Thursday. We'll have to check the calendar. Yeah. To our American friends and family.
Absolutely.
Well, we're always grateful. We're always grateful and thankful for you guys. And if you guys know anybody who needs to hear this, please make sure you share that link.
Absolutely. Share it out to somebody who could get a little lift from listening to us and then dive in. So have an amazing weekend, and we will see you guys back here on Monday.
Bye.
See ya.